Hey guys, it's Logan from Drnoshek Racing and Restoration. Today we've got a 1971 C3 Corvette here in the shop with some brake issues. One thing that a lot of people overlook, or if you're doing it at home, taking care of brakes, maybe changing out calipers or pads or things like that, right? Master cylinder, is on these C3s, you got to get the rear end way up in the air when you go to bleed the brakes, or else the brakes will have air in them and you'll never get it out. So that's what we're doing now. The car came in, it's had calipers put on, it's had a master cylinder, a bunch of brake work done on it maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it's got this mysterious problem where after a couple weeks the pedal goes to the floor. So we checked the system, there's no leaks anywhere in the system, visible anyway, right? And we did our bleeding on the front brakes, and we put a pressure gauge on them. They're generating good pressure, all those kind of things. So we're gonna just go back to basics and start with bleeding the brakes. And so making sure, because we don't know how it was done, somebody else did this work before, we don't know how they did it, so we're going to start with bleeding the brakes. Like I said, we did our front brakes already, there's no air there. We're kind of doing it out of sequence just because we started with the front because the customer felt like that's where the problem was. But what we'll do is we'll start here in the back, get those bled the proper way with the rear end way up in the air, and then we'll go back to the front, bleed those, see if we've fixed the problem, and then that's, you know, we've got a good baseline to go off of. That's not good. There's supposed to be a pin that goes across here, so that's bad. Okay guys, so we've bled our rear brakes a couple of times. We're going to do it a couple times more. We've gotten a little bit of air out of there. Like I said, these C3 Corvettes get real finicky. You got to get that rear end up in the air to help get that air out and go through the bleeding process several times. So thankfully Bryson behind the camera was able to help me with that, because pressure bleeding is always better than vacuum bleeding. So that should help tremendously with our soft pedal and the issue that the customer was running into. Now, we did find another issue up front with some uneven wear on the rotors. The inside surface of the rotor was worn a lot more than the outside surface, and it looks like they're possibly the original rotors on this car because they still have the rivets. So when it came from the factory actually riveted the rotor to the hub on the front. It doesn't have it on this because this is the rear, but these holes would have rivets in them that would hold them to the hub, and most people don't put those rivets back in whenever they change rotors. So it would indicate that it most likely, unless somebody changed the whole hub and rotor assembly, they very well could be the original rotors. So we're going to go ahead, and the customer has said go ahead and change the front rotors, and when you do that you want to do the pads as well because they wear together. And so we're going to go ahead and do that and get this brake system all fixed up for him so that he can go out and have some fun and enjoy his car this summer and not have that uneasy feeling that comes to you whenever you push the brake pedal and it's soft and it goes to the floor and you don't know if you're going to stop or not. It doesn't exactly inspire confidence, so we want to make sure that we don't have that. We've got a good firm brake pedal for him so that he can go out and enjoy his car. Yep, so what we'll have to do is just knock these rivets, drill or grind those rivets out, clean those hubs up. All right, so the customer has been complaining, or his main complaint on this car was after a week or two, the pedal gets soft. And so he goes in and he he bleeds the brakes, this brake in particular, and gets some air out of it. We took the pads out because the rotors on the thing are no good, and so we're gonna replace pads and rotors. And when we took the pads out, notice there's some moisture in here. In the caliper itself has some moisture, so it's not a full-on leak, but that could be the cause of some issues. It might just be letting a little bit of air into the system, so it's not a leak, enough of a leak where it's causing a drip. But I think, we'll go ahead and put a caliper on it, just because it appears that this is probably a possible cause of the issue. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll go ahead and bleed the brakes, obviously, all those kind of things, and we'll go from there. So.
Well, does it drive better?
Stop's good. So stop's good now. We'll do another bleed of the brakes, let it sit for a couple days and double check everything, but I think we'll be good.